We are reading through the book of Matthew this month, taking a chapter a day. And each day I am posting a video clip, just giving some thoughts about that day's piece, not going in depth with all sorts of details, but want to give a nugget or two, give people something to think about. And today we're on Matthew 25. Now this has got a wonderful parable in it, the parable of the talents, from verses 14 through 30. For the kingdom of heaven is like a man traveling to a far country. He called his servants and delivered his goods to them. To one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, to each according to his own ability. And he went on a journey. Then he who had received the 5 talents went and traded with them and made another 5 talents. And likewise he who had received 2 gained 2 more. But he who had received 1 went and dug a hole in the ground and put his Lord's money there and hid it. After a long time, the Lord of those servants came back and settled accounts with them. So he who had received 5 talents came and brought 5 other talents, saying, "Look, Lord, you delivered me 5 talents. I have gained 5 more talents besides them." His Lord said to him, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You were faithful over a few things. I will make you a ruler over many things. Come, enter into joy of your Lord." Then he who had received the 2 talents came and said, "Lord, you delivered me 2 talents. I have gained you 2 more besides them." His Lord said, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you a ruler over many. Enter into the joy of your Lord." Then he who had received the 1 talent came and said, "Lord, I knew you are a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you had not scattered seed. I was afraid and hid your talent in the ground. Look, there you have back what is yours." The Lord answered him and said, "You wicked and lazy servant. You knew that I reap and have not sown and gathered where I have not scattered seed. So you ought to have at least deposited my money with bankers. At the coming, I would have received at least some interest. So take that talent from him and give it to him who has the 10. Parable of the talents. This is not just about money, but it's about truly our talents, our gifts, our abilities. God is the master in this story. We are the servants he's talking about. Christ ascended into heaven, and we are entrusted with parts of this kingdom until he returns. What are we going to be doing with the gifts and talents that he has blessed us with? Each of us have been given special strengths and gifts and abilities. And he asks that we use it for him, for his glory, for his kingdom, so that others can come to know him, so that others can come to experience his love. He wants us to be putting them into practice. In fact, this piece is telling us that if we're not putting them into practice, it is a sin. It is a waste of the talents and abilities and gifts that he has given to us. We're not using what he has blessed us with if we're just sitting on our hands. It's too easy to go to a Bible study and say, "That's interesting," and then not do anything with that knowledge. It's too easy to hear a sermon or to go to a worship service, praise and worship God and learn from that, and then go about our daily lives. God wants us to put these things into action, to be using them. Otherwise, we're wasting them, and he will be unhappy. He wants us to be tending to the fields. Remember, it says the harvest is plentiful and the workers are few. We are to be workers out in the field. That's why it talks about how he was expecting others to say, to go where he had not gathered and scattered seed. We are to be working the field for him. when we do, then when he returns, he will look at us and say, well done, good and faithful servant. That's the phrase we often hear in Christianity today on mugs and on posters and in music songs. I do want God to say that about me. But regardless of whether he says that or not, I am going to be using my time, my talents, my gifts, my abilities to serve the master. What about you?